I realize that I am in the enviable spot of standing between you and lunch. So I'm going to do my best. Well, I can't be short, but I will do my best to be brief. Also, you might have noticed or haven't noticed that my name was misspelled, which absolutely wouldn't matter because nobody cares, except the announcement was that you want to send more tweets than ever before. So if you're going to do that, no more twits, sending more tweets. If you're going to do that, then we need to use the right spelling. But what I want you to do for just a second is think back to when you checked in to this hotel. I guess it was yesterday sometime. You would come off a long flight, long cab ride, long line to check in, and you get up to your room. And I don't know about you, but the first thing I do when I get up to my room after I drop my bags is go to the bathroom. So you walk into the bathroom, and right there on the toilet is a giant cockroach. What's the first thing you do? Exactly. 10 years ago, you would have screamed. But now, you take a picture. And you don't even have to look for your camera, do you? Because your camera's in your phone, and your phone was in your hands because you walked into the bathroom like this. Because what's definition of a true first world problem, right? I just went to the bathroom. I don't have my iPhone. Now I'm going to be bored. So you take a picture, and you write, OMG, exclamation point, WTF, question mark, exclamation point. There's a giant roach in my room, and then, because you're very sensitive and very concerned about where you are, you mention the name of the hotel, right? In my room at the Las Vegas Rio Hotel. And you hit, boom, send. And you all are social media mavens, so it instantly goes out to your 20 or 30,000 Twitter followers, your 500 or 5,000 business contacts on LinkedIn, and 3,876 of your closest friends on Facebook. But it gets worse because they all retweet it. And so it's the incremental growth. But it gets worse because some idiot actually posts the picture on their cockroach page on Pinterest, right? And they write a magnificent example of a 6-leg, hard-shelled, albino Belgian cockroach at the Rio Hotel. And out it goes. But it gets even worse. Because if the hotel marketing staff is not monitoring social media, they don't even know it happened. They don't even know it's out there, flying around the world, telling everyone how disgusting your experience just was. And after all of that, do you still think you control your brand? Because everything I hear about branding, and I've heard it at these conferences, is what you can do to control your brand. And the truth is, you don't control your brand anymore, which is a problem for guys like me because I create brands for big companies. And brands want to know, companies want to know how we're going to control their brand. And the truthful answer is, we're not. Now, part of what we do is science. You're hearing a lot about metrics. The reason some clients love online marketing is because there's metrics, because they can prove how many people saw it. But a lot of what we do is art. It's intuition. It's creativity. There's no metrics there. So our clients had asked us to show them how they could measure that part of what we do. In order to do that, we did a lot of research. I actually wrote a book called Building Brand Value on how you build a brand. And it was 7 simple steps to doing this. As time went by, I would speak at conferences. I would meet with people. I would show them the steps. We'd use it for our clients. They would start to understand it. But I was starting to feel that even though they made perfect sense and even though they passed all the tests, one of them was stronger than all the others. Of these 7 points, which were very quickly all about them, hearts then minds, make it quick, make it simple, make it yours, all 5 senses, and repeat, repeat, repeat. By the way, you don't have to write them down. They're on the website. They're on my business card. They're easy to find. But I was feeling that one of them was more important. And it kind of reminded me about dating, or specifically about a bad date. Because that's what most branding, marketing, advertising, online outreach, whatever you want to call it, that's what most of it is. It's like a bad date. The comedian Gary Shandling did a wonderful story about this. He used to have very long hair. And he did a joke about wanting to ask this girl out on a date, but he was really nervous. Finally asked her out, and he was so nervous that he just started jabbering. And he realized that he was just talking until about 3 hours into their date when it dawned on him that he had done this. So he said to her, you know, I'm really sorry, I was so nervous about asking you out. I didn't know how to control myself. When I get nervous, I talk. And I just talk incessantly. And specifically, I talk about my hair. And I know that's all I've been talking about, and I know you don't find it very interesting, and I really want to make a good impression. I really want to get to know you. I really want to understand who you are. I think he did what Carrie taught us. He twisted his pinky and he bumped elbows. I really want to understand you. So let me stop. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to calm down, and I want to ask you about you. What do you think about my hair? And that's what most branding, marketing, outreach is. We're talking about ourselves. And when we stop to ask questions, we ask about ourselves. And so what you'll hear, and what a lot of the speakers are going to tell you about, is you have to look for differentiation. You got to be different. You have to have some unique selling proposition, USP, or an X factor, or some way of breaking through, some way of getting noticed, some way of building your brand. And the problem when you try to do it is that you realize that you do the same things everyone else does. And this is not a new problem. Finding this differentiation in order to brand yourself goes back hundreds of years. Go with me to the 1740s to Leipzig, Germany, and I want to introduce you to a guy by the name of Johann Sebastian Bach. Now, how many of you have heard of him? Raise your hand. Okay, here's a rule. This means yes. This means no. This is what the dinosaurs did at Jurassic Park, okay? So we're going to try again. How many of you heard of Johann Sebastian Bach? Very good. If you haven't heard of him, sir, raise your hand anyways. So Johann Sebastian Bach was a composer. But before he became a successful composer, he still had to make a living. He was not born a successful composer. He was a piano teacher. That's how he earned money to feed his... Well, he wasn't actually a piano teacher because pianos had not yet been invented. He was, in fact, a spinet teacher. And as far as I know, a spinet is kind of a miniature piano. And a lot of the music that he wrote, he played on the spinet. One of the songs he wrote was a song called Minuet in G. If any of you took piano lessons, or you've had kids who've taken piano lessons, you have heard Minuet in G. Anyone? Okay, any of you have kids? Do the rest of you know what kids are? Can't even get them all up for that. Okay, so I thought it was critical that you hear Minuet in G, so I had asked Mark to make sure that we had a baby grand piano right here in the middle of the room. There were three problems. First of all, apparently there's something here called budgets, and they didn't have the money for it. Second of all, with this quick turnover from speaker to speaker, we didn't have time to set it up. And third of all, I don't play the piano. But I need you to know this piece of music. So I realized, you know what, Bach doesn't play the piano either. He played a miniature piano, so I brought a miniature spinet, and I'm going to play Minuet in G for you. And it goes like this. Thank you. Now, I want you to jump with me from 1740 to 1940. From Johann Sebastian Bach to my personal idol, a man by the name of Sonny Boy Williamson. Now, these guys are as different can be. Johann Sebastian Bach was short. Sonny Boy Williamson was 6'6". Johann Sebastian Bach wore that kind of red velvet suit with the pilgrim shoes. Sonny Boy wore all black suits, even in the heat of the Mississippi summer. Sonny Boy was African-American. Johann Sebastian Bach was European. So they were, as I say, about as different as they could be, but they were both composers. And Sonny Boy wrote a lot of music that you know that's been redone by Led Zeppelin and the Animals and the Yardbirds and on and on. And he wrote a song called Peachy Tree. And Peachy Tree goes like this. Thank you again. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Why the hell is this guy playing the harmonica? Well, here's the point. Both of those guys were as different can be. Both of those pieces of music are about as different can be. But they both use the same 7 notes. And if you remember the sound of music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, thank you. But that's an octave, do, do. It's the same note. That's all there is, 7 notes. So if you're trying to figure out how to build this brand, how to build for differentiation, how to get people to notice you in this vast online world, how are you going to do it? It's very simple. And it's even simpler if you accept the fact that you do not control your brand. In Germany, there are 5 car companies. There's Opel, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Volkswagen, and Audi. They all make exactly the same thing. They all manufacture cars. And if you look at their sort of entry-level models, you have the Opel Senator, the Mercedes C-Class, the BMW 3 Series, the Volkswagen Passat, and the Audi A4. They are all within 1 inch of each other in every dimension. Height, length, width, wheelbase. They look the same. They weigh the same. They have leather interiors, great stereos. If you're inside them and you're blindfolded, well, and hopefully you're not driving, you can't tell the difference. But just like us and our brands, the car companies need you to tell the difference. So what do? Right on the front, between the headlights, they put a logo. And each logo uses a circle. Opel's, they don't sell in this country, but Opel uses a lightning bolt. Their logo looks like that. Mercedes-Benz, you know that logo. It's that peace sign, right? It looks like that. But look at them, not as logos, but look at them as geometric shapes. Opel divides its circle into halves. Mercedes-Benz divides their circle into thirds. BMW, the ultimate driving machine, here's how ultimate they are, they divide their circle into quarters. Volkswagen just took the Mercedes-Benz logo and flipped it over, and then they removed the vertical and they replaced it with a W. And then the way I see it, the guys from Audi came along. They didn't know what the hell to do. They said the heck with it. They just took the other guy's circles. So even the logos are exactly the same. But the cars are very different, aren't they? What does a Mercedes-Benz stand for? Luxury. Good. What else? Prestige, thank you. Terry, I saw your hand pop up. Absolutely, quality. And there's always the one thing that nobody wants to mention. They're expensive. Okay, so would we all agree a Mercedes-Benz is luxurious, prestigious, high quality, and expensive? Anyone disagree? Now, BMW, we have to differentiate, right? Is a BMW luxurious? Sure it is. Is it prestigious? High quality? Expensive? But it's one more thing, isn't it? What else defines a BMW? Performance, exactly. Performance. Now, here's where building brands and creating the type of brand that gets you the response you want becomes really exciting. These attributes, the attributes of the brand, become the attributes of the consumer. So a Mercedes-Benz driver is luxurious, prestigious, high quality, and affluent. And a BMW driver is all those things, but tends to be younger, a little hipper, a little trendier. In fact, demographers call BMW drivers PDBs, which ironically does not stand for person driving BMW. It stands for people dressed in black. Because, you know, all the cool people go out in all black, like Sonny Boy Williamson. We used to say, you are what you eat. Today we say, you are what you consume. Because these brands become the badges that consumers use to tell the world who they are. Our parents' generation were known for the wars they fought. Our generation is known for the things we bought. And if you don't control your brand, How is it that these companies are able to build theirs? By making the brands all about them. The simple key, the only thing you need to learn, to remember, to take away today, is that your brand should not be about you. It should be about the consumer. Because after all, your brand has nothing to do with you. Thank you very much.